Welcome to Just Crafting Around. Hi, my name is Kelly and I am your host. Today we are going to do a few different things. We are going to make something for Mother's Day, and we are going to tie it into our spring stuff that we're going to be doing, and this is all going to be stuff that we're going to be able to take and hang on our branch. Okay, what we're going to do is, this is actually jewelry making is what this is. But what I've also found that you can do with this, and of course I see most of the things that we do on Pinterest is where I find most of our projects and stuff that we do. I mean, who doesn't go to Pinterest? But that is where I find a lot of it. Or sometimes at night, if I am just bored, I search the net to see what's the next thing that we can do on the craft show. I actually found this piece of wood, and it was just, it looks like a gate, and I really liked it. It was at Hobby Lobby, and I got it for less than $1. So what I did was I went online and I painted it first. You have to sand this kind of stuff because it does have a lot of little hanging, pieces of wood that come off and stuff. So what I did was I sanded it first. The next thing that I did with it, it looked plain like this, the plain wood, the blonde, really blonde looking wood. Then I took some paint and I used the white, kind of a cream color, a creamish white color, and I used that and the chalk paint, and I painted it first, and then I went online and I looked to see what I could find that said the word spring that I really liked. I wanted something colorful. What I did was I found the word spring online. I took it and I copied and I pasted it into Word. Now, when you copy and paste into Word, like I have said before, you need to go over and you need to use the flip side because you need to flip it around. So when you take, how you know you've got this right when you flip it, because sometimes you can't tell if it's flipped or not, especially on a picture. What you do is you take it and you look at this side, you take it and turn it around to the back side. If you can see through it and it's correct, it's spelled correct, from left to right, then you know that you flipped it correctly. So I always take it up to the light, I looked at my paper and it looks perfect. Then I took some medium and I put it on here. I cut this out and I cut it out as close to the white and took off as much of the white as possible. I did go around a little bit, but I don't want to make it so terrible thin. So what I did was I cut out as much of the white as what I thought would be okay. I smeared the medium onto here because I kind of measured about where the word spring would be. And then I took it and I glued it. It's like a glue. But what it does is it transfers the color, the ink, from on here to here. Now, you can only use a laser jet printer. That's the only printer that's going to work with the medium, because if you smear the medium on an inkjet printer, what's going to happen is it's going to smear the ink all over. If you put it on a laser jet, it won't smear the ink. Okay, now you let this set overnight, and then you come back and you take some water and you take a sponge and just barely wet the sponge and then start wiping and wiping and wiping. And what it does is it takes off the white part of it. Now don't wipe too hard because you will rub off the ink part of it then. So rub gently, let it set. Once it sets, it gets kind of like a white cloud over it again. Once it's dried, do it again. Wet your sponge, take your sponge and apply the wetness to it. Once you've got it to where you want it, let it dry completely. Once it's dried, then take your acrylic coat, which you can get this anywhere as well, any kind of a craft store. I use the matte finish. I don't like to use the gloss finish because I don't like everything to be so shiny. I'm more of a matte kind of a person. So I took this, in a well-ventilated area, and then I sprayed this whole thing. So then if I take a wet rag and I wipe over the top of it or I dust it, the rest of it won't flake off. So I think this turned out pretty good. But what I want to do is, because this is going to be a spring project and I want to put it on the branch because I want to display it, I want more color to it. So I looked for some embellishments. What I found were some of these pretty flowers already. I really, really like those. but they don't have any bling on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bling them up a little bit. And I'm going to use just a plain color, just a plain clear. You can get them in all different colors and all different shapes. Here's like some pink bling. Here's pink flowers. You can get them in packs like this. You can get any and all of the colors. You can get all colored bling, whatever you want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of arrange these a little bit. And I'm going to use hot glue to stick them instead of just pulling the back off to have a sticker. I like the hot glue on there because then I know that it's going to stay on. So if it gets bumped or anything like that's going to happen, that I don't have to worry about it. I'm still going to pull the sticker off the back, but again, I am going to use some hot glue here. I'm just going to put them all over on here, not in any kind of an order, nothing like that. I'm just going to add some hot glue. Push it down, no order, doesn't have to be in a specific order. Once that's dried a little bit, I'm gonna take another one. I've got a blue here, I've got green, I've got orange, I've got different sizes. You can even use different shapes if you find different shapes of flowers. Sky's the limit. The reason that I wanted some color on here is for number one, it's spring. For number two, we've been inside all winter long. I like color. I like to see color. I like the bright colors of spring and summer. Here's another one we're going to put on there. And like I said, no, just any kind of a random order, however you want to do it is fine. Now what we're going to do is take these little pieces and we're going to put them in. Again, like I said, just going to pop them in with the big flowers because those are the ones that can handle the bling. And what lady doesn't need a little bling in her life? I like pearls. I love pearls. I always remember my grandma wearing a pearl necklace. That was her favorite. So I like pearls. I think pearls are dressy as well. And one more. I'm just going to put them in the middle of the bigger flowers. Nothing fancy. Now I've got a couple little flowers yet that I'm going to add to this, because I don't have a green and I don't have this color blue. So I'm going to add these flowers. And again, you don't have to probably use the hot glue, but I like to use it because it just gives it that extra little support. And I feel much better when I'm going to go up and wipe it off, that I don't have to worry about taking the flower off. Once you've got it done, you can kind of look to see what you think. If you wanted to go somewhere else, like I said, it doesn't have to, that it has to be in any kind of order or anything like that. Just kind of give it a little bit of character. You can find any of the embellishments, anything like that, you can find them at Hobby Lobby, you can find them at Michael's. Again, a lot of times when I go through those places, I look for sales, because like all of this was very, very cheap to make. So I like to wander around and look at sales. And we now have our little sign complete. It says spring with some really cool flowers on there. So that's one of our projects. Some projects you don't have to per se make. What I like is I found these at Michael's, and it's got a watering can, and it's the galvanized. It's got a pail, it's got a rake, it's got a little shovel for gardening, and for $1.50 you really can't cut this out of anything that's galvanized. So I paid $1.50 for all 4 of these, and I'm going to use these to put on the branch. The other thing I found that I thought was so cool was this bird cage that actually opens. So you can put dried flowers in here, you can put a bird in here. Again, I only spend $1.50 on this to put on my branch. The other thing we're going to do is to put on the branch. I found this at Michael's as well. It's like a test tube. It's got a cork on it. But what I'm going to do with this is we're just going to take some flowers and we are just going to decorate it with some flowers, colorful flowers that I found, again, at Hobby Lobby on sale. I think I got all 3 of them for $2 or something like that. I don't spend a whole lot on something like that. And I found that I really like these. So we are going to tie some twine onto here and we're going to hang it. But I did like to wear these feathers. The feathers I also found on sale. Hobby Lobby, you can go in there at any time and you can find different things on sale. I did pick up a white, a black, and a blue, and I picked up the blue because I just like the color. Again, colorful. Something colorful because it is spring. We've been in the house all winter long. It's time to get out and it's time to see colorful things. So we'll put the blue together, we'll put the pink together. And I bought the pink and purple because, of course, those are the colors that my granddaughters like, although my one granddaughter changed from pink to orange. So it's kind of a day-by-day thing. But anyway, I thought for probably less than $3 for something like this to hang on the branch that we can display for spring. So now we've got 4 items of spring to hang on our branch, which we will take you to and we will do in a little bit. The other thing that I wanted to show today, and this can be done for Mother's Day, very, very simple project. What we are going to do is, you can make, and this I found in the jewelry department at Hobby Lobby, of course, and nowadays you can make jewelry that's pretty reasonable. And what I did was, I went and I looked for some round circles. First, what I did was I looked for round circles in the glass. I know that you can get them square and I know that you can get them round. So what I did was I found the round circles. And then once I found the size that I liked, I went and found, if you're making jewelry, if you want to use them for jewelry, what I found was the circle to which it goes into. So what you need to do is you need to look for the glass, the size of glass that you want. I don't know how many sizes this comes in for sure, but this was a size that I really liked. Then I went and you can decide if you want it in the gold, which I like this kind of gold. This is the color that I would wear if I'd be wearing gold. And I found this gold. I also found it in the square. So you can find the circles, the glass circles. You can find the square glass pieces that are already cut and you don't have to worry about it. So here's the square, of course, again in the antique gold, and you can put a picture, you can put a picture behind there, and then you would take it and you would glue it to your piece right here. But instead of doing all that, what we're going to do today is we are going to make magnets from them, which I think is super cool. This magnet that I have right here is actually one of these. I found a very pretty flower that I like, but this flower happened to be fabric. So you can use fabric with that. You can use a heavier paper if you're printing a picture. You can use, if you like, any kind of scrapbooking paper, because scrapbooking paper is pretty thick. So you can use that as well. I have found a lot of scrapbooking paper that I absolutely love. Here's a picture of my daughter with her 2 little kids. And what I did was, again, I went and found the picture that I liked. It was in black and white, which I also liked. And then I sized it. I had to print several times until I got the size that I really liked. So you may have to print more than once, more than twice to get an actual size of something that you like. And here's what you do. Now, you don't have to flip the picture because all you're doing is you're gluing the square to your picture. But what I did was, once I found the picture that I really liked, you need to, either with the circle or with the square, which we're going to use the square one for this, you need to make sure that it fits in there fairly decent of what you want from the picture. So lay it over the top, make sure that it fits pretty decent, and then make more than one just in case you make a mistake. So copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste is what I did with these. Now again, these don't need to be inverted because you're just gluing this to this. Okay, so let's do that. And the kind of glue that you're going to use for that is, it is called diamond glaze. And the reason for the diamond glaze is because you don't want to smear the ink when you put it on, and when this dries, it dries very clear.
Sign up for HD or DVR from Valley this month and receive 2 months free and free installation. Call us today at 437-2615. You don't want to miss out on this offer.
First thing we're going to do is, you don't have to cut all the white off around the picture. I'm going to cut it and leave some because once it's dried, I'm going to come back with a smaller scissor and I am going to cut around the square. So I'm going to cut, I'm going to leave a little bit of white on there because like I said, I don't want it to be exact or else I have problems lining it up. You may not have problems. I would have problems lining it up decent. Where here, if I take it, I have a little bit of time with a little bit of wiggle room to see if I like it. Now make sure that your square, that your glass is clean. What I do is, I'm going to take a small piece of paper here and I'm going to wipe it off, make sure that it's not, some of these are a little bit cloudy. You may want to use some Windex, any kind of window cleaner, but make sure that that looks good. I'm going to put it on my picture one more time and see if that's how I like it. Looks good to me. What you're going to do is you're going to take some of this diamond glaze, and all you need is a drop. You don't need a lot. And then you're going to take a brush and you're just going to kind of brush it on. Once you've got it brushed on, you want to take it and paste it onto your picture. So here we go. And all the sides are rounded. You don't worry if it is, you don't have to worry if it is one side that you'd have it on the wrong side. This glass that I purchased, this is the, with the square one, there is no right or wrong to it. I'm going to take some of this diamond glaze. I always have to shake my stuff a little bit before I use it. I'm a shaker. A little too much in there, but that's okay. I'll take it off. What you do need is just a drop. You don't need very much. Here you can tell I got quite a bit on. So I'm going to take some of it off. It came out faster than what I thought it was going to. It does dry clear. The only thing you just got to make sure of is that you get the bubbles out. And you're going to let her dry. And now we're going to push it down. Going to make sure we have all the air bubbles out of it. It looks pretty good. Put your brush in water right away. And then what we're going to do is, once we get it cut to the size we want, we are going to use these as magnets. We aren't going to use them as jewelry. We're going to use those as magnets on a refrigerator. So I did get some magnets, actually it's a roll of magnet, but you can cut it into any size you want. Where here you can see that I cut this a little bit different and this a little bit different instead of squaring them off. It doesn't take very long for this to dry. It sets up pretty quickly. So again, I'm going to cut this off. Not a difficult project at all. Maybe a little time consuming right away because you are going back and forth and doing different photos, different sizing. The sizing is what's going to take you the time. But like I said, as far as it's not hard. It's just definitely not hard. It's kind of fun because you can go through your photos and pick out your favorite photos. I did have fun with that part of it. And then we're just going to kind of look a little bit, and I'm going to just cut off and then see what size I need. I don't need it quite that big. Cut that part of it off. What I did do though is I didn't use regular paper. I used harder paper, not your regular printing paper. I went up a little bit of a size. This is more like probably construction paper, heavier weight paper that I'm using. I'm gonna put this on here and see if I need to slim it down, and I really do not. So for this right here, this is really, really strong, sticky. I took off the back of it because it does have the back to it. So I took that off. And like I said, this you don't have to worry about because this will not come off the back. If it would, I would probably use a little bit of super glue to keep it on. And there's our third picture. So now we have magnets that we can hang on our fridge. We've got 3 different types of magnets, and like I said, you can use anything that you want to use. You can use fabric, and you can use your scrapbooking paper, you can use pictures, whatever you'd like. It's perfect. Okay, now let's go over to our branch, and we are going to hook some stuff to the branch.
Protect your investment with smart farm monitoring from Valley Telecommunications. Get video surveillance cameras for your home, shop, or barn. Sign up now and receive 5% off of Clear to Their cameras and 1 month free of off-site storage.
Valley Telecommunications, the home team advantage.
Okay, so here's our branch. I have one at home that hangs in my window, and I do have other branches that are coming out like in the sides and stuff like this, but the guys here at work broke those off of my branch. So this one here is just plain. And what we're going to do is we are going to hang some of the stuff that we made in here, and we're also going to hang some stuff that we purchased. I just thought this was so cool, and I really, really liked it. I thought, what can I put in there? So I found some of these sequins that have all kinds of color to them. So we're going to attempt to hang this to make it look good today as well. Okay, let's get started. You can use ribbon, you can use anything that you'd like to use. I think I'm going to hang this spring one. And beans, I've got flowers on there and they're bright. I'm going to use a bright ribbon for that. So let's go like right here in the middle. And again, when you hang stuff, I'm never satisfied with the first time I hang. I always come back and take a look at it and decide, don't like it there, I want to change. I maybe want to change the height of it, maybe bring it down a little bit more. It depends on what I'll put on the branch. I decide as I go along, I guess, is what I do. Use different kinds of things to hang them on with. Use leather, use some suede. I like twine, ribbon. Nowadays you can get so many different colors of ribbon that you can hang on there. I am going to put these galvanized things all together on one string instead of, or maybe what we'll do is we'll do 2 strings. And then that way we have a few more things that we can hang on there. Put them together. Of course, this won't be difficult. This will be kind of fun. And I'm going to leave the tags that are on there already because I think they're cute. So many things you can find nowadays if you just take the time to go in and look to see what there is. And sometimes I get lost. I can wander for hours in craft stores And at the time, I would have never thought that would have been me, but guess what, it is. I enjoy doing that. Probably hang this one here. Again, just gonna hang it, take a step back, see if it's something that I need to readjust. Again, not an issue. I think those are kind of cool. In fact, I like that. I like the idea. I'm gonna use a little bit thicker twine for the next one, just to have something else that it's hanging on. I guess I don't feel I can use ribbon for these because this here is actually things that you would use in a garden. So when I think of a garden, I don't think of ribbon. I think more of your twine, your different stuff that you have. Let's see, try to put these together a little bit. You can decide and do this on a table and say, well, I need this and I need that before you actually put it on here. I could be doing it the hard way. I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this, but I like to just kind of go with the flow. Take a look at it, decide if that's where I want it or not. Like I said, I don't cut anything off of these. I let the strings hang until I know that that is exactly where I want it. I just tie a knot in it, let it hang up here, and stand back and take a look and see if I need to lower or if I need to make things higher. And again, adjust it to what you want. I am going to now attempt to put this probably over here, kind of like that there. So we're gonna attempt, beans that has got color to it, I think I'm going to use some green. Doesn't have any green in here, but that's okay. We're still fine with it. I like having a lot of this stuff on hand so that you can see what you really like. I don't want to use anything too fancy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of this. Tie it around this. I put a little hot glue on here, but I want to reuse this for other things. I guess for $1.50, does it matter? But I'm going to reuse this for something else. So what I did was I just took some of this, some ribbon, put it here, tied it to the back, put in a good knot, and then we will hang it up here. See which way it stays in the front, and it looks like that'll work for us. Tie the knot up here. And again, just something we'll stand back and take a look at. Let's see if it's gonna work. Haven't tried it with this, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. Put it back in. It looks like it'll be just fine. So now let's add our flowers. Again, I got the purple and the pink because my granddaughters are purple and pink, but changed their minds. They changed their minds on me. So by the time I think I know their colors, nope. They decided they don't like that anymore. I wish they'd stay little for a little bit longer, but of course they don't. Okay, I'm just going to put in the white feather. I like the white feather in there yet. So we're going to put that in towards the back. There we go. I I think that looks okay. And then we have our bird cage. I'm going to put the bird cage over here. After looking at this, I really don't want to put anything anymore up here. I'm pretty satisfied. So I kind of stand and look. It looks like it's fairly balanced out. Could use this. I could still put this up, but then I think it would clutter things up too much. I'm not sure really where I'd put it. Probably over here, but then would that take away from my flowers? I kind of think it would. So what I'm going to do now is, I think it looks fine. I like it. I'm going to go around and snip some of these off. Some of them I'm going to keep on because I like it. Like this ribbon right here. I like this ribbon. This is my favorite ribbon. So we're just going to leave it like this. This here definitely has too much. I'm just going to cut it off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it because I might be able to use it for another project when it's that long. And this, I'm just going to cut off a little bit, but kind of let it hang because sometimes letting the things hang gives a character as well. This right here, I'm going to bring up a little bit. I just try to balance it off a little. Or I may just cut it down. Let that one a little bit longer. And let it go with that. And there you have it. This is our branch. It is for springtime. Like I said, the different things I did find at some of the different stores for $1.50. Some of these items you can't go wrong for $1.50. If it does the decoration and you like it, go for it. Tune in next time for Just Crafting Around. If you would like to be a host on our show, we would be more than welcome to have you. Please give Lisa or myself a call at 437-2615. See you next time.